Next up, we get another surface gauge. This looks just like a large Starrett surface gauge that I sold not that long ago. And if it's what I think it is, then it's actually a pretty nice one underneath all this crap. This is going to be one of these deals that I'm going to give somebody a really good price on it because it's going to need a lot of love to bring it back. But yeah, I'm almost positive that's the large Starrett surface gauge, and it's not marked anywhere on the base because Starrett didn't mark these on the base. At least all the ones I've haven't been marked on the base. The way you know it's a Starrett is if it has the original post on it, which this one appears to have an original post on it. This will be marked on the post. I almost missed it because it's right there, right close to where this was clamped. A lot of this stuff was really rusty, and the guy had started to soak the hell out of it with, I think vinegar was what he was saying. I don't really smell it, but that's what he was saying he was using to try and get a lot of the rust off of this stuff. It's also got this original clamp with the short rod, which the last one I had didn't have that. I know I didn't pay much for that because of the condition mainly. Next up, I got this set of parallels. These are thin parallels, really thin. I actually don't have a set of parallels as thin as these, so I'll probably end up holding on to these for myself. No brand name or anything on them, nothing special about them. And I found this Vblock, and as luck would have it, it has the original clamp with it, and it kind of reminded me of the Starrett Vblock that I have. I forgot what the model is of that Starrett, but it's the same design as the Starrett. It was so filthy I couldn't see anything on it, so I just cleaned it up right now enough so I could see that this is an SPI, and it's got a part number right on it. It's a 91-290-7, and I was really surprised to see how expensive this Vblock is. Found one had sold on eBay new for $170.24, and there's currently two for sale being offered on eBay. Again, a new one for $170 and a used one for $120. Now, obviously, this one is not in as great a shape. The good news is it's just rust. It's just some corrosion that's going to need to be cleaned up, and it isn't that horrible. It doesn't have any grind marks or dings or any other damage like that to it, so it's still going to be a very good usable block for somebody. As a matter of fact, it's still on the Pen Tool Company's website, and currently sells for $190.64 on that site. I also found this little boring head. It is I believe it is a Criterion or a Bridgeport. I forget which. I remember seeing that. Yeah, this is actually a genuine Bridgeport boring head. This is a Bridgeport #1. Got some rust on it, but it's certainly something that could be saved. I'll have to look and see what I've got over there for boring heads and decide whether or not I want to keep this one or sell it. Next up is another item that I've had several of these in the past, and I always have guys wanting to buy these. Seems like if I sell these cheap enough, I could sell these all day long. It's got some surface rust on it, but this is a collet block set, and it's got the hex collet and square collet, one clamping nut, and then this quick release style clamp. So I'm sure somebody's going to be getting a deal on that. Next up, I got this little gauge pin set. This is a .011. It's 11 thousandths to 60 thousandths minus set, and I believe it is complete. Yeah, this actually is a complete set from the looks of it. I haven't verified that each pin is what's supposed to be in the hole, but And I already have one of these, so I can probably sell this one. Next up we have this unusual Brown and Sharp set. I've never seen one like this. It's a little case. It folds out, and it's got a Brown and Sharp combination square, a little punch, a hermaphrodite caliper, a 6-inch scale, and then up here on the top we've got inside calipers, Brown and Sharp fishtail, outside caliper, and some dividers. And I believe everything is Brown and Sharp. I don't think anything is missing. Yeah, everything is clearly marked Brown and Sharp. I have no idea what the part number would be for this set. I've never ever seen one before. I would imagine that if this was in mint condition, it would probably be quite valuable as a collectible. But unfortunately, it's in pretty rough shape. But it's still a really cool set. I'm going to have to probably do some research to try and figure out the value of this thing. Next up, we get a set of adjustable parallels. These are, judging by the looks of it, a cheap import set. It is complete. There is one here, it's just kind of stuck down in there. But they're all in here. They're going to need a little bit of cleaning up, but still a usable set. And again, because of the fact that it's something that I already have one of, I can sell this, and since I didn't pay a lot of money for it, I can give somebody a really good deal on it. And then this is a just a box of steel shim assortment. Originally it was 15 separate sheets that are 6-inch by 12-inch, and then basically you've got one of each of these sizes. So this is by the Precision brand company of Illinois, Chicago area, not Chicago area, sorry. But anyway, some of it's used, but underneath here there's a lot of unused, brand new stuff. So it's a handy thing to have. This next group of items was in a Kennedy toolbox that I went through, and I fished out these items from inside that box, and he had no interest in them. So I was able to get these 5 items, and these are 5 little gems, really. This is a cute little 4-inch square, and this is a Starrett, and I have one of these now. That's new old stock, I think. So I'm pretty sure I could sell this one. Just got to double check, make sure I don't have a 6-inch. If I have a 6-inch, I'll probably keep this one, so I'll have both. Speaking of cute little squares, look at this thing. That's a hell of a little thing right there. That's loosen that, and I believe that allows this to move. I don't know if it's stuck or if I'm just not doing it right. Yeah, it's just stuck. That's going to need a little bit of cleaning. It's a sheer Tomiko number 230. I've never seen one. Alright, so it's kind of interesting. This unscrews, but it doesn't have a point on it. So I don't think it's a scriber at all. But what would the purpose of this be? This definitely is the locking nut to lock this. So as soon as I loosen that, I can move this blade, and then when I tighten it, the blade's locked. So what the heck is the point of this thing? Alright, so I'm not convinced that this might not be actually a scribe that the point broke off of. I don't know. We may never know. Because I could find another one online. This right here, This is a nice little doohickey. This is a Starrett 289A, and what this is this is a tool for putting two Starrett blades together. Excuse me, two Starrett blades together. Pretty neat. Basically, you take two blades, stick it in here, and you make yourself a square somewhat like this. And this is a 4" by 4" square, and it is a Starrett. It's also a great piece. And last but not least, this cute little Brown and Sharp square. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a Starrett. It's a Starrett number 20. Not wearing my glasses, so. Here's the only micrometer that I ended up buying. Outside micrometer, that is. And it's actually a Starrett 210A, which is a thread pitch micrometer. So, and it's in great shape. I actually found it just like this. And then later I found this case, and this case had some other micrometer in it that didn't fit in there correctly. And I was able to convince him to let me take this case with this micrometer. Since it fits so well, it could very well be the original case for it. It's missing a micrometer wrench, but that's okay. And here we've got a Starrett. Oh yeah, this is a an early Starrett back plunger indicator set. It's got this bar right here. It's got its own part number on it. I've seen these sell for a few bucks just by themselves. The same thing with this hole indicator. This hole tool that basically allows you to turn this into something to reach into a bore and indicate. This is sticky, like others of these that I've had come through my hands. Had somebody just recently asking me for a back style plunger. This also has a couple of the attachments there to change the. You can unscrew this and put the larger one on there if you need to. So might try and clean that up. Oh, this is an interesting Starrett hole gauge. Never seen one like this before. This is somebody stuck this instructions in here. It says catalog number 82A. So the weird thing is it's got a federal indicator on it. But I think that I did look up in the catalog and find that this was in fact a Starrett hole gauge. So go figure. So I'm wondering whether or not, like a lot of these, I think you can just probably loosen this nut right here and remove this indicator completely. And I think what belongs in there is actually a small Starrett indicator. And I think I have one, a Starrett like this. So I could probably turn this back into a more correct version of what this should be. This appears to have had some moisture get to it or something. Doesn't seem to be moving. The truth of the matter is, if the indicator is the problem, I'm not going to be too worried about it, as long as this part here is good. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 3 more attachments to it, but I think it's supposed to have it's supposed to have 5 of these total, according to this little chart right here. So actually that's not bad. We're missing 1, even though there's like slots for 6. According to the chart, it's only 5. So that's something we could play around with. Here is a little Craftsman depth micrometer. It's actually in pretty decent shape. It's looks like it's a 0 to 3. Yeah, I would say it's probably a 0 to 3. Give somebody a deal on that. This here is a Boar Incorporated Countersink Gauge. So you guys may recall A while back I found one of these at a flea market, and it was a different brand, and I ended up finding out that it was going to be too much to have it properly repaired, so ended up doing nothing with it. This one appears to be in much better shape. The indicator is sticking, so it might need a little bit of work, but it does seem to not be completely frozen anyways. So I haven't decided yet what we're going to do with that. I don't really have a need for precision countersink gauges. This is an early, you can kind of barely see it, but it's an old Mitutoyo case. And what's in here is an old Mitutoyo inside micrometer set that looks like hell right now because it's got this, I don't know if you can hear that, it's got this foam cancer that Mitutoyo's cases get, where the stuff just turns into a crunchy powder, and it sticks to everything. So that's going to take some cleaning, but once that's all cleaned up and everything, that'll be actually a decent little Mitutoyo inside micrometer set. You know, it's satin chrome. It's not a bad set. It just looks like hell right now. And this, I don't even remember what this is. Oh, this is a Boar gauge. It is a Peacock brand Boar gauge, which according to the label up here, it says made in Japan. So I've seen Peacock stuff before. I wasn't aware, I don't think, that it was made in Japan though. It actually doesn't seem like this part's the problem. It seems like maybe we've got another sick indicator on our hands. But again, it's just a matter of taking this out. There we go. So that indicator is working. Maybe it wasn't seated all the way. So if I preload it a little bit and tighten that down, now let's see if we can get this to work. There we go. So again, might need a little bit of cleaning, finessing, but might be a usable Boar gauge. Problem with these Boar gauge sets is oftentimes there are pieces missing, and you could nickel and dime yourself trying to replace some of the missing pieces. This one seems to be fairly complete. I think we might be missing, well, there actually isn't one in there now. There's no point in there now, so looks like we might be missing a point for here and here. So we might be missing 2 points. It actually tells you the range, and then there's these little washers right here. One of those appears to be missing. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to give somebody a good deal on a cheap. Next up is another useful item that is utterly filthy. The spin indexer. Had a few of these go through my hands. I kept the one for myself, so I'll be able to sell this one also. These are made by several different companies, including a lot of import companies, so who knows who makes this one, but this one's going to need quite a bit of cleaning. It is really nasty. I don't see anything obvious to indicate a maker. I think we could just safely assume that it's probably an import and not worry about it. Yeah, I mean, it's really filthy. It does turn. Just a really good cleaning, and I think this is going to be usable. Well, anyways. Spin indexer. 5C, I'm sure. Oh, actually, wait a minute. Is it? Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know if they made these in R8 or not. I don't think they did. I think they're all 5C. This next item's pretty cool. He seriously thought about keeping this, because they have a surface grinder. But there was another grinding jig there. There was a Herrig grinding jig that I really liked, but I couldn't get him to part with it. There was a couple of items actually that I really wanted to get that he just wouldn't part with. But I was able to convince him to sell me this. Don't remember exactly what I paid for this. I think I paid 70 bucks for this. And, you know, I probably wouldn't even have gone that high for it, except for the fact that I figured I was going to keep this for myself. So what this is this is a device called a Microgrind by Simco. And what it is it's basically, it's just a fancy precision 5C fixture for grinding. So it's got a 5C collet in it now, but these are actually pretty pricey. So anyways, the idea is that you would use this on your surface grinder to hold really small parts in 5C collets. And I don't know if this is any paperwork or what the heck this is. Yeah, this is Simco Industries Microgrind parts list. Okay. Instructions for using the Microgrind spin index grinding fixture. So anything you can hold in a collet, 5C collet, basically, you can use this to hold it on the table of your grinder. Now the Herrig fixture that I couldn't get him to sell, that actually had a V-block on the nose of the unit, so you could anything you could hold in that small V-block, basically you could do grinding operations on high precision. But anyways, so that's a pretty cool thing. I don't know why somebody put good on here, but we were joking about that. So it must be good. Somebody wrote good right on it. And this is a Simco Industries model MG909. And I believe we're down to our last two items. And these next two items are identical. He actually had 3 of these, and he kept one and sold me these 2. And they're dirty, and they've got issues, but I got them for dirt cheap. I got these for 20 bucks for the 2 of them. Ready? Our friend, the Hoke gauge block sets by Pratt & Whitney. All right, so this is a train wreck. You can see it's missing a whole bunch of pieces, but there's still quite a few blocks in here. This will be really good for helping somebody who might have a set like this that is missing blocks. And I took a chance on these because I have this set now and I've been trying to complete it. And on the off chance that maybe one of the blocks from my set are still in this set, or this other one that I got from him, this still has certification enclosed envelope in it. All right, this set here has several of the unusual blocks that came with this set that make it such a really neat set to have. What this allows you to do is, if you want to get a precision measurement on the inside of a hole, okay, you can do that with this set. You can even stack blocks in here. In addition, you have the ability to there's other shapes too. You have the ability, if you have the base, which here's one of the bases, you can actually use this base on a surface plate in conjunction with these rods, and that will allow you to stack, because there's holes in these blocks, to stack these blocks, turn it into a very precision height gauge, very precise height gauge, I should say. And then see, there's a really big block there, right? So I got 2 of these sets incomplete, as found, so to speak. And then I found this laying on a shelf, Didn't know what it was at first, and then I recognized, oh, this is a set. This is several of these blocks put together, and they're pretty gnarly looking. But I took them anyways. I figured they were just going to get thrown out. But that's a 3-inch block right there. And there were a few others that were just so badly damaged I left them. And then he took from both of these sets, he took whatever were missing from the third set to try and make the third set as complete as possible. So he ended up with a fairly complete set.